Hi friends, welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny and we live and garden here in Baltimore, Maryland, Zone 7. Today I am getting ready to go on a 2-week vacation. Any gardener knows that leaving your property, leaving your gardens for almost 2 weeks can be a little bit stress-inducing. So let me share with you some of the ways that I'm preparing my gardens to be left alone for almost 2 weeks in the middle of the summer. Come with me and let's talk about these strategies. Now, the first thing that I want to make sure that I do is get all of my plant stash plants into the ground. I don't want to have any of the investment that I've made either in my time or my money going to waste because they sat in these mini little greenhouse shelves and didn't get enough water, didn't get the right sunlight, didn't get the right care. So today I want to get at least half of these plants into the ground or taken care of properly so that I don't have to worry about them while I'm gone. And the other half, if I have more left to do, I can do tomorrow. We're leaving the day after. As far as priority for these plants, I definitely want to get the things that I purchased at a store into the ground today. And then the things I did from seed, they can be lower priority because I didn't have as much of a monetary investment, although I do have quite the time investment in them. But, you know, when you're dealing with how to spend your time today, this is what my strategy is. Now, the other thing is, in these days before we go on vacation, of course, we have a lot of other things going on. We have appointments to take the dogs to the groomer. We've got to get the car serviced. We've got a birthday hanging in there for my husband. And, you know, just other things, other commitments in life. So I'm finding little pockets here and there of gardening time so that I can get the gardens ready. taking me a couple of days to get my garden ready to leave it for 2 weeks. Yesterday, I really did a lot of planting and I finished up my planting this morning. Next, I'm going through and I'm deadheading so many things. I'm deadheading so that the plants won't have to worry about going to seed. I'd rather have them continue to put on blooms while I'm gone. So I'm going to actually cut back pretty harshly some of my flowering plants, like my Shasta daisies. I'm going to take off everything that's blooming right now and just leave the buds so that they don't go to seed and stop flowering. I'm going to cut back all of my salvias, which haven't been done yet. I'm going to cut back a lot of my annuals so that they'll flush out nice and fresh while I'm gone. And then I'm going to look around the garden and maybe go after all the roses. Who knows what else, but I'm really going to go hard on deadheading. That way, the gardens will spend the next 2 weeks being well watered and then hopefully putting on new fresh growth that will be flowering, if not exactly when I get home, soon after. Wouldn't you know it? My lily tree, this is Garden Pleasures lily tree, or Orion Pet, or a hybrid between Oriental and Trumpet lilies. I got this from Brex.com 5 or 6 years ago. That's all an aside. My lily trees are just coming into blossom and we're leaving, and I won't get to see most of them blossom. I am grateful that the bottom tier of each of the flower bracts has opened. So there's on each of these stalks, there's about 2 flowers open right now, and they smell heavenly. Oh my gosh. But most of the buds are still closed up and will be opening after we're on vacation. So since I won't be here to enjoy them, I've been taking cuttings and putting them into vases for my friends. They might as well enjoy the flowers while we're gone. And actually, I've done that strategy with all of my flowering plants. I've gone through and I've taken the best looking echinacea, the best looking Shasta daisies, the snapdragons, some of the dahlias, some of actually some liatris that have been blooming, and who knows what else I found. Anything that's blooming beautifully right now, I'm making bouquets for my friends because they might as well enjoy them, and it helps me with my deadheading project. I brought my 2 tomato plants into the backyard, inside the fence. They were sitting in the courtyard, but the deer came up the stairs off of our driveway and ate a lot of the bottom of my tomato plants, including about a dozen young green tomatoes. So I moved them in here. So I'm hoping that the deer will stay out of the yard while I'm gone. If they come in here and eat them, then I guess they have more, daring than I give them credit for, and I guess they can have the tomatoes if they can do that. But anyway, so you can see one of the tomatoes, I don't know that variety. I'm calling that my Wendy tomato because my friend Wendy gave it to me and she couldn't remember which variety it was. So I don't know, it seems to be an indeterminate variety because it's putting on fruit as it grows. So I've put an 6 foot tall stake into there, and I'm hoping that I'm going to tie it onto the stake at the very tippy top today, and hopefully it will stay upright while we're gone. I have a 4 foot tall stake on this one, and I need to put in a taller one before I leave, because as you can see, it's already outgrown the stake that I have on there. So that's my next task. So this is, I guess, a 6-foot tall one. So I'm going to put it in here, and I'm just going to leave the other one on. I'm just going to poke this down into the soil, and I'm going to hook that onto there. I like to use this double-sided Velcro tape that's made for gardening. You can find it at a lot of garden centers, Home Depot, Lowe's, places like that. I like it because it's gentle on your plants. It won't hurt your plant stems, and also it's reusable. I'm going to tie this up as far as I can today so that as it grows while I'm gone, it'll be attached at the highest point that I can get it. But I am going to make these really loose here at the top because the stems are going to grow a lot fatter than they are right now, and I don't want to limit them. Now I'm choosing to put my tomato pots, these big, nice big pots, on this pathway that goes up from the lawn to the patio, and it's a slight uphill. And the way they are right now, they're fairly steady. I don't think they would fall over. But I want to be sure they don't fall over in any sort of rain. So I'm actually going to use these 2 rebar stakes to create sort of a guard for the front of this pot. And then I'm going to move that one down so that it's kind of leaning on this pot. I only have 2 of these, so I'm going to use them here in the front. There we go. All right, now this pot is not going to fall over because it's braced up against these 2. And so now I'm going to use this piece of concrete as a wedge. There we go. And so now I don't think either one of those is going to fall down. And while we're at it, let me put this here. And just do our best to keep all those plants upright while we're gone in any sort of rain. Another thing that's definitely on my list to do the day before we leave, Dave is going to mow the garden. No. Dave is going to mow the lawn and edge while I go around and water with water-soluble fertilizer on all my containers and all the annuals that I have in the ground. I want to make sure that they have the nutrition that they need to survive the next 2 weeks. Of course, I'll be spraying for deer the day before we leave as well. Luckily, the rain forecast is helping me out. We had rain yesterday in the evening. It was a golly washer. And today is clear, tomorrow is clear. I don't think it's going to rain for a few days after we leave. And so I'll be able to get the deer spray onto every plant that I need it on, and it'll be there for quite a while before it rains. So hopefully that will keep the deer off of my plants that I care so much about. One of the most important strategies I'm using on this trip is I brought all of my flowering containers into the same area. They're lined up here along the edge of this flower bed and along the edge of our brick and stepping stone pathways. And I'm going to be running just one irrigation line to the entire lot of them. I'll just string it right along the whole row of all my containers, and I'll just set up one irrigation line here in the backyard that will run every day and keep all of my containers happy here in the backyard. And that way I don't need to bother any of my friends and ask them to come over and water my plants. And I think that's about it for the strategies that I have for taking care of my garden while we're gone in the middle of summer for 2 weeks. Did I miss anything? I don't think I did, but you let me know in the comment section down below how you care for your gardens while you're gone. Do you have someone come over and take care of things? Do you set up irrigation on a timer? Do you do some of the things that I do, or some different things, or do you handle things really differently? Let me know how you do things so that we can all learn from each other. Thank you so much for coming along with me today on this adventure in garden chores and prepping for being gone. I hope that you learned something, or maybe got an idea, or maybe you can share your ideas with us. I hope to see you again in another video real soon. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.